Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy show. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and we really appreciate everybody joining us every week to ask any Amazon question. First, small piece of news. We're going to add a second YouTube show every week on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jason Master Mateo will be answering your questions. So if you can't get enough of us, or you just want another guy who has less hair than I do, check us out on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to see you there. We're going to be jumping into your questions here. I'm going to snooze myself there. I always forget. Lots of donations coming into the channel here. Thank you, BG, for that super sticker. I will be prioritizing sticker questions first. Ruben's got the highest amount donated, so I'll start with his today, and then we're going to go into member questions. So every week we answer questions about anything related to Amazon, whether it's your PPC, whether it's your SEO, whether it's your catalog or design management questions. So on our website here, you can see these are the things we specialize in. I'll put that on screen here. PPC, SEO, design, and catalog. Everything to make your life easier, give you peace of mind to manage your own Amazon business. All right, so let's jump in and answer our first question today. Coming in from Ruben. All right, so let's adjust this, make it a little easier to read. I'm gonna go, nope, don't like that. What am I trying to do? Why isn't the group layout working for me today? Interesting. All right, how important is a couple of negative reviews that are unfortunately on the top? And upvoting the 5 starts to cover them. Can the few 1-star reviews that are on top and received in 2018 influence the conversion? So this is a really great question. Part of the reason it's a great question is because reviews have never been harder to manage on Amazon than they are today. Specifically, you can't generate lots of good reviews without getting Amazon's ire, right? So, for example, if you put in the word review into a product insert, you put a product insert into your product packaging, Amazon sees the word review, flags that you're generating reviews in an incorrect manner, incentivizing them, right? And even just using the word review can trigger that. So I don't recommend most review strategies today. In fact, I generally recommend avoiding them. A lot of content I've put out about generating user engagements, like photos using the product, that kind of stuff, significantly a better strategy today. So as it relates to this particular problem, I want to go on Amazon itself and let's look at some reviews together. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is my Age of Sage store. I sell smudge sticks, soaps, and a bunch of other gift items. Let's check out my mom box. Not a lot of people are going to leave a negative review on a mom gift box because it's a pretty awesome product. So you can see here I have 0 1-star reviews, which is awesome, knock on wood. But let's say we're looking at a product and one of these came in. So let's just type in most recent. Let's see what those look like. All of those look pretty good. So let's click on 3-star, right? So I have okay, interesting. So even though it says 0% on 1-star, I actually do have one 1-star review coming in from Alibis. And if you click on this particular person, I remember looking at this back in May, they only leave 1-star reviews on Amazon. So they're probably one of those bot negative review services, or they're not a very fun person to be around. One of those two, right? And so how do we get this from showing up? Well, in my particular product instance, I had the benefit of not seeing their product review towards the top of the listing. So if we go back down to the reviews here, it didn't show at the top of the reviews, which is good. But let's say it did. What could we do about that, right? So this helpful button can influence the order. And there used to be a bunch of black hat services that would come in and downvote. They took the downvote button away. But you can upvote things, right? So if you click on the helpful button and then all of a sudden 50 people click on this, and there's also still black hat services where you can click on helpful buttons, the chances of them showing up higher helps, right? So as you scroll down, notice how none of these have the helpful button on them, and that the ones that have the helpful button, these two here, show up higher. So there does still appear to be some impact to somebody upvoting a review on Amazon. So if you're wondering if you should look at upvoting some positive reviews that you like, probably might want to look at that. Don't go all black hat and have 50 people upvote it and buy upvotes. But as you can clearly see, you have an incentive to choose which reviews show up at the top, and the ones that have the higher reviews oftentimes will show up at the top. Now the real heart of the question that Ruben asked was, if there's a couple of negative reviews in there that are sticking towards the top, could that affect the conversion rate? And he mentioned, these could be from 2018. And the way that I would do that is sell into the objection, Ruben. So if, in the past, as a seller, you could leave a reply to a negative review, right? Well, today you can no longer leave replies to reviews. You can't even integrate or respond or reach out to these people very easily. You can in the brand analytics dashboard send a templated response like a push button thing. So what could you do about this review? First of all, you could report it and try and get Amazon to remove it. We do have a template. If you go over to Google and just type in my Amazon guy product review removal, you're going to see the top hit here, how to remove negative product reviews. And we've built out a template on how to remove some of the most common negative reviews. So specifically things like, hey, I didn't buy this from Prime, or from a verified review rather, or it talks about the shipment, or it talks about the seller. These are things that violate product reviews, and you could try and remove them. So this is the first tactic I would try, Ruben, is try and, do that. If it contains profanity, it's hostile, it's unverified. We have all these templates built out. I'll put a link to that in the chat. Check that, guys, out. It gives you a lot of information. And then besides that, I would say, Ruben, you want to create an infographic or a secondary image that will sell into this objection. So if I left a review about how the product falls apart, then create an infographic about how to best maintain the product, or how the 2022 version of the product has reinforced it, and all that good stuff. So great question, Ruben. Appreciate that donation as well. And Ruben, you had another comment here. I'll put that up. Can't wait for Fridays, because this is my company's meeting with Steve Day, where we put some time to figure out what we're going to ask. Thank you for all the help and support. And another little sticker coming in for Ruben. Well, I appreciate that. You guys have a great Friday session with that. We've got Pepe, who is literally our #1 super fan. This is an actual title she possesses with us. Happy Indomitable Stephen Friday. Thanks for all you do for the community. You're very welcome. Is there such an FBA rule that says we can only ship in goods with FNSKU? Our Amazon barcodes are not seller-generated barcodes. So the question's written a little funny, but I think I understand it. So you're going to have two types of labels, right? On the left, you got Amazon barcodes, and on the right, you've got UPC codes. Cool. I get it. So what should I be using? Well, if you sell something that is consumable, right, like this hot sauce bottle, you need to put in an FNSKU over the top of the UPC barcode. If you're selling something that's not consumable, like a book, you can see the barcode here. It's technically an ISBN, but imagine that this wasn't a book. It was just a random object. I'm a big fan of Traction, and I keep it on my desk because I quote from it all the time. But imagine this was just a regular object, because I couldn't find another random object fast enough. You would put a regular barcode on this. And what happens is, if you use the UPC barcode, it can be commingled. So commingled product at Amazon, all of the items at FBA can be in the same bin location, which is uncomfortable for some brands, especially omni-channel brands that ship their stuff out to multiple locations. You might want to still put the FN stickers. It's a bunch of pain in the butt, though. Or you could pay Amazon 30 cents a sticker. They used to only charge 10 cents, but they started charging more because, throwing 1,000 stickers on things, it does take a lot of time, right? So in any case, you don't need FNSKU labels unless it's topical or consumable for the most part, but you may want to do it if you want to change the bin locations to only put your own items in your own bin. But if you're the only one selling the item on Amazon, you can get away with it. It's not a big deal. A lot of my products, though, with like my beer glasses and wine glasses, I don't even deal with UPCs. I just do the FN Amazon barcodes to begin with. All right, we got a couple other stickers in queue here, looking down the list. So DJ, I don't see your question, but thank you for the donation. BJ, thank you for your donation. Hi, I'll be upgrading my ASIN. Should I keep it in the same ASIN or do a variation to get a new honeymoon? Has good reviews that I want to keep. Sells a few days with no PPC. Keep same ASIN or new. So this is a time-old debate. There's not a perfect answer on this particular question. There's some relative science and relative art behind it. A variation that is being launched on the same ASIN. So if you were upgrading a product and you know you're going to discontinue the old one, I would make a judgment call. There's two ways to do this. Option number one, add a variation to a parentage and just call it an upgraded product. Another thing you can do, there is an actual submission that you can make inside of Amazon to say buy the upgraded version, right? So I have a I don't know if that's how you say this, but Sennheiser, I don't know if that's how you say it, headset. They have a new one. And so when you go to the Amazon listing, it shows that there's a 2.0 version and it shows it in a parentage and you can click over to the 2.0 version. So that's one way you could do it. And then the third way you could do that would be to just simply discontinue the ASIN, change and update a second SKU on it, ship in the new product on the same ASIN, stock out of the old, flip over the creative, and turn the new SKU on the old same ASIN on. And so one of the confusing things that can come out of this, though, is when do you flip the new SKU on? This is why I recommend a duplicated SKU strategy and add the second SKU to the same ASIN if you want to go that route. So supplements are very commonly reusing old UPCs because they'll just remove one ingredient or add a second, and that's pretty standard in supplements. Depending on your product, you might want to make a decision, right? So if you have really good reviews, you may want to just reuse the ASIN, reuse the UPC code, update a second SKU on it, and go that route. But there's a lot of reasons why you may not want to do that. Maybe the new product is going to get 5-star reviews, but your old product got 4-star reviews, right? Smash that like button today. We appreciate everybody coming in and tuning in today. We got lots of questions in the queue. Dr. Nee, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Really appreciate it. We'll jump on your question once you post it. And going through the queue to look around to see what we've got. I think we've got all of the sticker donations caught up. So I'm going to go top to bottom, and we're going to start with our member questions next. Old Hickory, if you had a parent with a child ASIN and put one child in Vine, could you later choose to break out the listing, put the other child ASIN into Vine only to later put them all back under one parent? Answer, yes, you can. I've done it. Vine's now, they charge for Vine. I don't generally think reviews matter anymore on Amazon as a platform. So I don't think it's worth doing, but yes, technically you can. I think that if you build a really crushing listing, lower the price and just generate sales, that's the best way to get your reviews. It's just by getting orders. Need orders to get orders, if that makes sense. Would you recommend such a scenario with a product listing that is struggling to get traction after other attempts through PPC and SEO were tried? So it's always the main image. Always. It's always the main image. If you've already done everything perfectly on PPC and SEO, it's always the main image you got to look at next. So Dr. Nee says, I just want to say thanks. You're very welcome. So no question from you for now. That's cool. If one comes up, we'll jump on it for you. Jeffrey Vallon has a few questions. Using terms bacteria or microbe in supplement category seems to be an issue. Yes, the number of category keywords you cannot use in the supplements category is about 1,000 long. It's not a fun category to be in right now. Does adding not a pesticide in the template upload allow for the use of these terms? I see them in some listings. No. Would I go through the motions to write not a pesticide? Yes. Does it actually help you? Probably not. The robots are just crazily going and 80-20ing all supplements and just removing them for random words. It happens. So not a lot of proactive things you can do. Just be reactive and keep removing things as they come up. On occasion, we'll build an A+ content order for somebody in the supplements category. 3-6 months go by, their listing gets yanked. They come back to me and they're like, hey, you built my A+ content. You screwed me over. Amazon yanked it. We can't guarantee that Amazon won't yank a listing. Unfortunately, that just happens. We're really good at getting them back up. We went above and beyond for that particular customer and got his listing fixed. They still weren't happy. And that's just the nature of the beast with supplements on Amazon right now. It's just a terrible category to be in. Need to change listing quality dashboard info. LKUD edit in bulk doesn't work. If template uploaded is needed, must I change the FBM and FBA SKUs at the same time? Must I wait 24 hours before a new upload? I'm trying to remember what LQD stands for. And I'm going to type that. If anybody knows, help me out in the chat. I see skincare, not really sure. But in any case, if you make a change to a listing, I highly recommend keeping the change on one type of SKU, like the FBA SKU, and then not loading data to the fulfilled by merchant one. Just load the SKU and the price and nothing else. That way you can only keep data in one source. That's what I would recommend. But in terms of having to wait 24 hours to make changes, I generally don't ever wait 24 hours. I'm a super impatient individual. I'm super eager, and I always like making sure I can get things loaded in faster. One of the most common things you need to do, though, is typically load in brand registry tickets to get the thing to actually take hold. So that can be very, very important to do. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, we got a donation from Paul Worthington. Thank you so much. Paul's staying up super late over on the other side of the world. We're helping out Paul on a project right now. Thanks for that donation. Appreciate it. Mr. Budgies, the Epic, asks, how can I get a trademark? So we get this question a lot. We've filed more than 650 different trademarks for our Amazon customers. You can get brand registered on Amazon in under 7 days if you purchase a trademark from My Amazon Guy. And we have a lot of success doing this. All you got to do is go over to myamazonguy.com. Site's loading a little slow right now. Put your cursor on trademarks and start your order. That's how you get a trademark. Cost is $825. You'll get your serial number from us in under 1 business day. So if you order it this morning, you might be able to get it same day today, if not by end of day Monday. We use an attorney. You don't need the IP accelerator anymore. And we've done this 650 times in the last 18 months. Very, very recommend that. We have a lot of people in the chat who've used our trademark service. Feel free to tell everybody else what your experience has been like. And we'd be happy to have you share that. All right, going to the top of the queue again here. SC Trojan says, my UPS tracking numbers that I entered into my shipment plan is no longer valid. The boxes are grayed out. Can't edit them for new tracking IDs. Any ideas how to fix this? So Amazon's been a little bit more of a bully when it comes to logistics and shipping challenges. And so my best advice on that front is to try and get shipments into the system and delivered at Amazon in under 60 or 90 days. If you're going past that time frame, you may run into problems. You could always delete the shipment and remake it. In my experience, if you ship something that the tracking got wiped out or it was a deleted shipment, up until April 1st of 2022, you're going to be able to ship those in and they'll check in just fine. I've done it many times, but coming up here in about 6 weeks, they are prohibiting any shipments coming into a deleted shipment. So be very cautious of that moving forward. Unfortunately, that's a new thing. Not a whole lot you're going to be able to do about that. So to fix a catalog problem, if we delete the ASIN for 24 hours and then relist it, she said resist. I think she means relist. What negative effects will it have? Losing A+ content. And yes, we downloaded the category listings report. So PayPay brings up a really good point here. Make sure you always back up your catalog. If you don't know how to download your category listings report, let me tell you, I highly recommend it. Very, very important to back up your data anytime you're doing work. If you delete the ASIN, the A+ content will be just fine. and it will still associate. If you're worried about this, after you reload the ASIN, just go back into the A+ content module and make sure the ASIN is still assigned. It typically will be without a problem. But if you do have a problem, just retype the ASIN in, it'll go right back up. I don't think that'll be an issue. For H10 Cerebro, for those keywords you rank organically in the top 15 to 30 spots, why not just advertise on them heavily rather than massaging the keywords into your title and listing? Because if you were able to do that with advertising by itself, that's what everybody would do. It's simply put, you can't just do PPC to get your SEO up. Does it have an effect? Absolutely. But you need to put it into your title, your bullets, and your content to get to spot 1, get to spot 1 through 10, typically. And part of that is because of conversion and data signals into the Amazon platform. So you have to push it. It's important. My current goals are ACOS under 40%, of ad sales 30%, tacos 20% for the toys category. Is this off base? Any edits? Thank you, Steven. So I would say this is probably on the higher end for aggressive, and I think it's healthy. It's just aggressive. And I think that would be totally fine, especially as a new brand owner, such as yourself, PayPay. I think it's fine to be aggressive. I think that your numbers will get better over time. I think you could get closer to 15% on tacos. I think you could pull your ACOS down to 35%, et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of where you are at right now as a business, I think it's totally fine with a new brand to be a little bit higher. So you're just on the aggressive side. So you're going to grow this year, which is going to be great. How to report a listing on Amazon when the seller is using a black tactic by using reviews gathered from another product entirely different to sell a product. Use the report a violation button and make sure that you bring a lot of attention to this, because these black hat tactics are terrible for our industry. It really, really hurts when other competitors are getting away with this. And so I just strongly recommend do anything you can to report these guys, because it's not fair at all for any of the rest of us. And by the way, if any of you have seen somebody repeatedly break this, send me an email with a list of your case IDs and send me a link to the product and screenshots showing all of this. Email it over to podcast@myamazonguy.com, and I will personally report it myself and do whatever I can to help you with that. No promises, but I've had a lot of benefits from a few Amazon insiders that when I forward these over, the next day, all of a sudden, the listing gets fixed. So just saying. Abdallah, I'm selling a new set of light string and banner, and I use seasonal decor as my category. When trying to add the main image, error comes up saying there's text, but there is no text. This is my actual banner. I'd like to see this one. One of the things you might want to do is make sure that there's nothing coming out of the image, a la, let's say I'm selling the cell phone right now, and it's got one of those otter things, right? So let's say this is my item. Notice how in the window of the camera, the entire item is inside the camera. If I try to load this item like this, with it touching a side, or like this over here, or like this up here, right? If you crop the image so the item is cutting or bleeding, you have a higher probability of Amazon not liking that and then showing that you're trying to abuse the system. Abdallah, the other thing I would do is I would load your image through a template file and try and get around it. But clearly you're not violating it based on your description. It's just getting caught in the system. So just load that via template upload. That should do the trick for you, or recrop the main image. Are there any restrictions for using kids in listing photos or A+ content? None to my knowledge. Obviously, there's certain product categories that probably wouldn't go down very well. But I think in general, no, I'm not aware of any. 2 questions. While creating the shipping labels and while inputting the carton measurements, the system does not let me save them. What could I be doing wrong? This is a known bug, and I see this all the time. Go into your inventory page, go to the more details section and save it there manually. Then go try and recreate the shipment, and then the product attributes will be set and they'll be fine. If the problem is not at the product level and it's actually at the carton level, there could be another problem, like you haven't set the address correctly, or you need to show some information it's requesting that you're not filling it in. I've seen those bugs too. Let me know. Jawad from LinkedIn says he has a question. Feel free to ask it. While creating the shipping labels, inputting the carton measurements, the system does not let me save them. Okay, I think we got that. Oso says, can child ASINs have different categories or not? And it will impact the BSR. Yes, they can. They can't have different brand names, but they can be in different subcategories. Just be careful, though, because if you do have different subcategories, the likelihood of a robot coming in and breaking it up increases dramatically. We have a lot of information about different parentage types that you can use on Amazon. I'm going to put it up on screen here. And there's parentage types like color and size. Those are my two favorite. Color is the safest one, and it's doing okay. But sometimes if you use like style variation and a bunch of others, it's really bad. All right, so let's go to the next question here. L. Galindo says, does my account have to be active to register a trademark? No. Trademarks can be registered as long as you have the product with a logo on it and you can send a cell phone picture in. We can file the trademark for you, get it loaded into the USPTO, and have you on your way within 1 business day. 7 days later, you can file a brand registry. But since you don't have an account active, whenever you get around to it, totally fine. As long as you got a cell phone picture to send us. What's a good strategy on image keywords inside of A+ content? Is it pointless repeatingly the same keywords on each image? What is a good strategy on image keywords inside of A+ content? Is it pointless repeating the same keywords? No, it's not pointless. I just recommend doing that during phase 3 of SEO. And what you generally do during phase 1 and 2 is mass index. And so by mass index, what I mean is show as many different hundreds of different keyword iterations as possible in the search term field, the A+ content, alt text, the title of a product, the bullets, all of that good stuff. And if you do that correctly, you're going to index for thousands of keywords. I usually like to recommend to say 1,000 keywords by day 30 and 1,200 keywords by day 60. When I launched my mom box, though, I was able to get more than 3,500 keywords indexed in the first 30 days. Had a lot of success with that. This is the actual product right here, this mom box. And this I was able to index by doing this. And then $144,000 in the first 3 weeks, $11,000 on PPC spend. 5K of that was on the broad match keyword gifts for mom. And then if you look at my A+ content, you'll see it's really gigantic, lots and lots of text, a lot of good information in here. And then the alt text, we'll look at the inspect element. You can do this in a Chrome browser yourself. And over here, gifts for mom, pinch me, therapy dough, olive, young spa, gift basket, woman baby, magic gift basket too. So you'll notice that I have the word gift in there twice. That's because the number one thing here is gift. And so I'm going for some exact matches. I'm in phase 3 of SEO. So this is the phase where it's appropriate to do multiple copies of the same keyword. During phase 1 and 2, I would not do this. It's not needed. But when you're trying to get specific keywords up into the top 1 through 10 matriculated ranks, highly recommend doing it. Chris says, Steven is the man. Thank you very much. Will there be an explosion of agencies for Walmart's marketplace? Absolutely not. Walmart sucks. Can't catch up to Amazon. I can't make money for you on Walmart, and you're not going to pay me money to not make you money. That's the problem, Chris. WFS has been lackluster. Haven't seen it take off. Really, I own my Walmart guy. I'd love to have another business vector. I wish it worked out. It doesn't, unfortunately. Generally, about 1 to 3% of sales coming out of Walmart. The more omni-channel, though, of a brand, the more likely it'll work for you. I got brand registry done via your company. The first product I ever launched has a brand name that is different from the brand name I am registering for. And I see part 1 on that. Part 2, can this product that has a different brand name still get A+ content? Nope. You would either have to change the product's brand name over to your brand registry, Karen, or file a second trademark. Honestly, I would file a second trademark if I were you. It's actually cheaper to file a second trademark and less time and energy than to change the brand name on Amazon, believe it or not. We sell trademarks for $825 for context, and we sell brand name changes for $1,000. just file the second trademark. It's much easier. Mike says, if I choose the option that Amazon should manual process FBA shipments, box contents, will I need to label the pallets or boxes with FBA labels or only the UPC? Amazon labels required on the items. I think anybody that doesn't put the case labels on a shipment is crazy. You're asking for your shipment to get lost, damaged, and not refunded. I highly recommend putting case labels on and help that out. Let's go to the next question in the queue here. Paul is calling in from Sydney, Australia. I was talking to him on the phone earlier today. Thank you for the PickFu coaching call earlier, he says. One of the things that we do is help set up PickFu tests. Upvotes don't work on reviews anymore. Yep. The reviews go back after 24 hours. Typically, if we file a ticket to get a product review down, it stays down. I don't see reviews going back up. But if you're talking about, if this ties into the other question about the competitor using incorrect items, like combining a parentage to get the other reviews, keep reporting the violation. They'll eventually get suspended. But yes, I've seen that happen. Amazon flagged one of our ASINs from getting reviews. Will contacting Amazon help? Nope, not really. Falls on deaf ears, unfortunately. Honestly, I would just wait it out for 30 days. Don't do anything fishy or even on the gray zone. It'll fall off on its own. Mike says, Amazon's requesting us to submit a letter of compliance for a soap product. The manufacturer only has the RIPT testing report and GMP, good manufacturing practice certification. Will this help? I don't know the answer to this question, Mike, and I also sell soap. So I hope this doesn't happen to me. Maybe it's an ingredient list issue or a safety data sheet problem. But there's something you're being requested I've not seen before. Wouldn't hurt to just submit and see what they say. We do have a 30-person catalog troubleshooting team. So whenever I see something new for the first time, I always just dump it over there and I say, go figure this thing out. So if you run into trouble there, Mike, don't hesitate to book a coaching call with us. We could probably figure it out. Do you know where I can apply for a letter of compliance for a soap product? I do not. Your manufacturer would be the best place to answer that question. If anybody knows that, please feel free to add it to the chat. I don't mind if you guys help each other out and pitch other services if it's helpful. Jahil says, when looking at your business reports, are sessions the equivalent to impressions? So impressions are not showing on the business report. Impressions are only related to ads showing up inside. So no, not equivalent. Sessions are actual clicks. Page views are clicks. And I kind of muddled that up. Page views are clicks, and sessions would be like, hey, I left your page and came back. That's still one session, but I clicked on the page twice. Getting a few spam bots in the chat today. I need to get more people certified to be policing that for me. Oso says, I'm using flat files to change variation name on a child ASIN. Do I have to fill in all the fields or just the ones I want to change? So Osos, first thing you need to do is what PayPay said earlier. Back up your data, do a category listings, all report export. Make sure you don't do any work on templates without backing your data up. With that said, you could do a partial update on a child variation name with just one field, basically. Partial update, SKU, and the child name. And that's all you need to put on that template. But if you don't remember, Osos, to put in partial update, you're going to wipe the catalog. So remember to do partial update. If anybody wants to share how much frustration they've had from wiping their own catalog, please post it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. I have never wiped a catalog that I haven't backed up, so knock on wood on that one. Is there a good strategy to use when selling products? Either or, sellers all fighting for buy box besides price. Nope. Be prime and price. That's really what it boils down to. Have better, faster customer service, give you a minor 5% bump, but really it's all about price. If you're a retailer trying to sell on Amazon today, you really need to launch your own products and do private label and develop a brand. It's important. Let's go over to Mamun. What do you manage SEO Phase 2? or how do you manage SEO Phase 2 in the EU market since there's no search term optimizer tool for pink keywords? Um, so we might skip that phase dependingly where the product is at. But essentially, if anything's in the title or the bullets, we can pull that out of the search terms. We don't need the report to run that. We can just eyeball it. Quite frankly, you could just use Frankenstein and say, "Hey, remove any words from title and bullets out of it." It should kind of work pretty well. Going down the member questions, I'm interested in selling a thermo type product that is currently selling well in another marketplace. It's currently not selling in the US. I did a search, can't find any patent of that design. Doesn't mean somebody doesn't have it. So really not a question coming in here. It would need a mold from my factory. Is there a risk the seller from other marketplaces comes in and say, I infringe on the design? There's always a risk, right? Like there's always a risk, especially if they're Chinese, because the Chinese will do whatever they can to put food on the table. That's just bless their hearts. That's their culture, right? So there's always a risk that a competitor is going to come in and muck things up. So what you need to do is file a patent if you can, if it's really that specific. And if you don't want to do that, because that can cost a lot of money to file, right? Sometimes patents can be 20 grand. Then just load the product and list it yourself and ride the wave for while it lasts, right? Like be a true marketer and just ride the wave. Just Jay says, any suggestions for structuring ad campaigns with 2000 ASINs? Yes, I would do campaign name or targeting type, manual or auto. The segmentation type. So if you're doing like keyword targeting, ASIN targeting, all that good stuff, followed by the actual ASIN. And if you're doing a single keyword, put keyword at the end of it. That's how I would segment it out. Just Jay. The other thing I would say, you could make a lot of money today by just creating a single campaign with 2,000 ad groups with 5-cent bids, $1 ad group budgets, and $100 campaign budget, and just load that. You'll thank me later. You're probably going to make a couple grand from that suggestion. It will help you out quite a bit. Any advantage to using one of the service providers on the IP Accelerator program? No. In fact, I think there's disadvantages. They haven't filed as many trademarks for Amazon as we have. They're lawyers. They're not Amazon sellers. They're going to mess things up. I've seen so many problems the IP Accelerator lawyers jack up. Like they'll make a logo for you, and then they won't realize that the exact lettering match of the logo matters a freaking ton when you file a trademark, right? Like, for example, let's say that this was the trademark. This is the way. Well, that is literally in all caps. So when you file a trademark with a logo mark with this, which I wouldn't file, by the way, Disney might sniff that one out. But if I did, it's going to come in all caps when I go to file the brand registry. So all caps, proper case, spacing, all of these things matter quite a bit. You need to hire us to do this. We'll do it faster than the IP Accelerator, and we won't mess it up. So we have a lot of people that have used us, have lots of positive feedback on that. Budgies the Epic says, thank you so much. Big fan for you. Oso says, do you follow up with the trademark office after filing the trademark for your customers? So if it's just like a simple like clarification statement, that's included in our service. If they are saying, hey, your trademark infringes on somebody else's trademark, that's not included. But we do, for an additional fee, we can fight it for you. Generally not worth it, to be totally honest. Or we'll file a second trademark and give you a discount if that happens. It's generally easier to just follow the path of least resistance when it comes to legal things. And that's generally how we handle it. There's usually only about 1 out of 20 that needs any follow-up. It's really not a big deal. Jahil says, do you have any best practices for keyword research? I'm pretty thorough with it myself, but looking for new golden nugget strategies that get you the best keywords for launch, high volume or low volume keywords. So I recommend going for the keyword that gets you to your goal. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you want to have a $100,000 per month SKU, that means you got to go for the 100,000 impression keywords, right? If you're trying to do 5,000 a month, then go for the 5,000 a month or less keywords. We're talking all in impression counts, so not like a specific one keyword. I'm talking about like 7 keywords that total 5,000, right? So that's how you can think. That's just like quick and dirty math for you. So depending on your goal, pick the keywords that have the impression levels that meet your goal. That's the best thing to do. In terms of high or low, it's not necessarily good to go for high or low per se. It's about competition. So how many products come up for that search term versus the next, and that ratio. The better the ratio is, the more search volume but less competitors, the more likely you'll have a successful product. It's easier to be the only guy selling something versus being the best guy selling something, right? So I am the best Amazon agency, according to my words. And so much harder for me to sell my product to somebody who could shop 100 different Amazon agencies. But if I'm the only agency that does SEO, and I'm like pretty much the only agency that does SEO, you're going to come to me because I'm the only place to get it, right? Same with trademarks. So you get the idea with that marketing strategy conversation there. Karen says, hi, we currently have about 15 products we advertise, 6 to 7 campaigns. I like to go into advertising console and manually edit there. I'm doing myself a disservice by not utilizing, and I scrolled down to check on the other chat and lost it. Oh no, where'd it go? We'll see if we can find that. Wow, there's a lot of questions in queue. Here we go. The bulk option to make edits. So 15 products. I like to go into advertising manual. Am I doing myself a disservice by not using the bulk option? It depends. Depends on how many campaigns you have, Karen. I think that the more sophisticated, you get 6 or 7 campaigns, manual is the way to go. 100%. If you get 20 campaigns and you have various different strategies, bulk updates could come in handy. Let's say you got 40 SKUs, those kinds of things, bulk updates will get a lot better. Personally, I would manual it. Quite frankly, even on my own account, I still do a lot of manual, even though I have like 100 wine glasses and different brands and various things. Bulk updates, though, if you are doing nothing but advertising and that's like your full-time job, 100% go all in on bulk updates. But if you're only spending 1 to 4 hours per week on ads, manual, probably where I would go. Looking into getting to the glass category. All right. I know that you're in the wine and beer. Is there any info in shipping to make sure it doesn't break? Yes. So some of you have not heard my story about my hot sauce. So let me tell you the story. I wanted to launch a hot sauce product, and I thought, cool, I could sell this glass bottle that's 4.5 pounds. Looks good. Spent $1,500 on my product label here, right? Looks really nice and neat. And I will pay Amazon to do my prep work. And so I ship in 1,000 of these on a pallet into Amazon. Amazon starts charging me for my prep work. They put the bubble wrap around the glass. They put the FNSKU label right over the UPC. All is going well, or so I thought. Until I ship 50 units out on my first launch in the first 72 hours, and I start getting customer messages, pictures of hot sauce everywhere. Well, lo and behold, Mr. Smart Amazon FBA team freaking shipped out all of my glass bottles in padded envelopes. Padded envelopes. So I'm a supposed Amazon expert. I didn't freaking see that one coming. So if you want my advice about shipping glass as it relates to Amazon, always ship it in a brown box. You can have your retail packaging inside that brown box. But if you don't have your own shippable box going into Amazon, you are doing yourself a disservice. What I should have done is had a 5x5 brown box individually shipping packaged well with all of the bubble wrap already done before it hit Amazon. Amazon is so dumb. They will not ship your stuff out in boxes if they don't have to. If it fits inside of that 12x8 padded envelope, they're going to jam that thing in. And there is nothing you can do to convince them otherwise, which makes no sense because they're a customer-centric platform, right? But they don't care about logistics for whatever reason. Super stupid. Like anybody at Amazon ends up watching this. Doesn't this blow your mind? Like how in the world does this company function with the FBA team that does that? But here we are. So ship your stuff in boxes before it hits Amazon. Best advice I'd give you. Well, I kind of missed your other part of the question. Any other nuggets, PPC or keyword wise? Yes, glassware products. The keywords ebb and flow. A lot of seasonality. Buckle up for that. What's a good PPC conversion rate? Can't say, it depends. All right. So I would say as long as your regular listing conversion rate is 10% and your ad conversion rate is at least 60% of that, 6%, then you're in business. 60% PPC conversion rate for your regular organic conversion rate. You can advertise on that all day long. So I didn't say it depends, but I did give you a ratio, which does answer everybody's questions. Frost Tax says, is there a limit to how many brand registries you can have under one seller account? To my knowledge, I have not hit that limit yet. I think I have one client with 23. Could be wrong on that. So yeah, I don't think you're going to realistically hit that anytime soon. What do you mean by subcategories? So if your item, okay, let's think about this. So main category for this would be grocery. Subcategory would be sauce, and subcategory would be hot sauce, right? So that's what I mean by subcategories. It's kind of like a lower level of it. Karen says, is there any correlation with CPC and conversion rate? My ACOS last week was high, lowered my bids, and this week ACOS still high, even on my best keyword and products. Yes. So Karen, you probably have a conversion problem. I recommend you A/B test your main photo as soon as possible. There is definitely a correlation. What exactly is the cleaning agent's role in import? I don't know the answer to this. Logistics is kind of an area I'm a little weaker in. I've done it. I've been to China. I've shipped container loads, but I wouldn't say I'm a logistics expert. I'm an Amazon expert. So if anybody knows the cleaning agent's roles in import, I too would like to learn about that. Do I have to give my supplier or freight forwarder the exact Amazon distribution center address for them to give me a shipping price? No. Typically, you can say what port it's going into. They should be good enough on its own. Mike says, if I ship all the same items on a pallet, can I put the FBA label on the pallet, or must I put the FBA box label on each box? I think we answered that one already. I recommend you put case labels on. JWD says, I didn't answer your question. Please consider it too. So JW, if you want your question to get higher in the queue, become a member of the channel. Click on that join button on youtube.com/myamazonguy. I do prioritize member questions first, or give us a sticker donation to go to the top of the pile. I have not answered a single future member question yet. That's how many questions are in queue. Tanda says, hi, Pope. What do you recommend if category comes up correct in back end, but wrong on the detail page? Partial update didn't take. You want to do a brand registry ticket. I have frequently posted in videos how to do a category update using a brand registry ticket. It's really, really easy. Go to brand registry. Just click on the support dropdown. You can't miss it. I went through a brand name change and ended up with another issue. I can't add A+ content to my ASIN as it is not recognized as part of the new brand. ASIN correctly displays the brand name. Mama, do a full update with a UPC in the template upload. That will fix the problem. I guarantee it. I've done it many, many times. When ordering products, does my account have to be active? Technically not, but I don't know why you wouldn't have an active account. Get that active. I see Amazon started showing negative reviews on the first page, even if it doesn't have a 1 thumbs up or helpful vote. Yes, they are purposely showing a couple of negatives to mingle them with the 5-star reviews. And part of that is to make the customer feel like they have a more authentic experience, because most of us think most reviews on Amazon are fake, because many of them are. I have a client, Chirp Wheels. They have 10,000 reviews on their product, 100% real. We don't have any external traffic or rebate key or anything like that. Barak says, what is the advantage of creating 2 different campaigns for each match type? I mostly use the same campaign. Some PPC experts like to segment things down a lot more and get different results. Probably won't move the needle a whole lot if you're doing that for things like auto campaigns, but on manual campaigns, if you do things with different segmentation types, or bidding up or higher or lower for bid modifiers and different keywords, generally speaking, you do want more campaigns. Competition is dominating first page with size and colors with different ASIN. Example, 10-ounce blue glass, 14-ounce blue glass, same with color red. Is that a catalog violation? So they're launching the same product multiple times with different titles is what I'm reading into this question. Yes, it is a violation. Amazon probably won't care too much. You could try and report them for violations, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think Amazon will care too much about this. What you could do is follow suit. And this is a tactic. I would definitely call this a gray hat tactic. It's not black per se, but it's definitely in the gray because you're not supposed to sell the same product on multiple ASINs. So give that a whirl. All right, Jason has joined the channel. Feel free to ask your question, Jason. We'll definitely get to your question next if we can. Oso says, so child ASINs can't have different subcategories and have the same main categories in order to not be breaked. Well, so you definitely could have different subcategories, but the main category probably has to be the same. I may have seen a few things that violate this. So like gaming dice, for example, technically can't be parented, but can be parented if they're not in the toy category. It's kind of weird. I've seen it. It works. Still a little bit of trouble, though. Jahil says, do you have any best companies to use for inspections before your product ships from your manufacturer to Amazon? I do not endorse any inspection agency specifically, but I did a podcast a year and a half ago with a guy that really talks really interesting about the bribery in China. And I forget his name off the top of my head, but I'm going to look it up on my podcast right now to see if I can find it. I found it. All right. So this guy who I did the fraud and bribery podcast with, really interesting story. Hire this guy. Looks like Hunter, my 5-year, 6-year-old now. All right, we'll pause that. So this was with Sajid Argawal of Mavli. So I had a very favorable opinion of him after doing this podcast. Give him a whirl for inspections. Let me know how that goes for you. I believe 1 or 2 of my clients have used him, but I don't know for sure what their experience was. So take it for what it is. I just got a follow-up from your colleague regarding my brand registry order. I have goods in different categories on Amazon. How do I select which category to brand register for? So Karen, we charge $500 to do a second type of category. It's cost prohibitive. I don't recommend it. You don't need a second category. So what I recommend you do, Karen, is pick the one that most of your products fall into. The more generic, the better. So you can't just do like glassware if you're selling in wine and beer, for example, but you could do wine glasses and you happen to sell beer glasses as well. That's totally fine. I have items in multiple categories and I still have the brand registry for it. Now, Karen, if you have a trademark name, and I don't remember yours off the top of my head, I could check this out for you. Send me an email if you want to do some additional follow-up. Since you're a customer, I can do some behind-the-scenes investigative work for you. But if you have a trademark that's really unique, you're really safe to just pick one category and list all of your products, no problem. If you have a trademark that's super short, 5 letters or less, or it's very common and there's other trademarks in different categories, I would definitely recommend filing second trademarks for $500 a pop in those secondary categories. Child ASINs can't have different subcategories, can have the main. I think we did that one. All right. So will A+ content still have significant impact on a mature listing? 3 years, 950 reviews, any MAG guidelines on A+ content? Key rules, tips to follow. Yes. 500 words of copy, put as many keywords in there as possible. Make the A+ content as long and as lengthy as possible. Take up as much space as you possibly can. So going to one of my examples. So we looked previously at the mom box. Brand story. If you don't have your brand story up, that is something you need to action this week. Brand story takes up an entire module. It's separate from A+ content. Big images, lots of text. Big images, lots of text. Big images, lots of text. Those are the things you need to do, Karen. And if you hire my Amazon guy to do A+ content, we'll take care of you and make sure we get that A+ content in A+ shape. Steven, you should start violation reporting service since you have a direct line to Amazon's catalog team. As much as I would love to do this, there's just not a lot of money in it. And also the results are hard to guarantee. Also, there's a lot of lawsuits pending right now about people using Amazon insiders for their services. And I really don't want anything to do with it. Everything we do is basic and we file tickets through the regular service, just like everybody else. We just know how to word it correctly and funnel it correctly and burn down the brick wall or punch through it, whatever. Your claim A+ content indexes and alt. You claim A+, well, I can't read. You claim Amazon indexes A+ content and alt image keywords. Yes, I do. However, it is not in the work as the same as backend search term. It does not index anything most of the time, or maybe I missed something. Mr. Barak, you are a member of the channel, I believe. Yep. So clearly you have seen my content on this question many times. Here is your challenge. Here is your scientific method so I can prove to you for once and for all that A+ content indexes. Go take one image alt text, anywhere on any A+ content and throw in Spanish into it in the US market. And I guarantee you, within 48 hours, it will index for those Spanish terms. If that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will, but that is clear as night and day. So my claim that A+ content indexes is easy for you to validate. Don't take my word for it. Go test it yourself. I am 100% confident on this. You need 500 words of copy in your A+ content. It is critical. While we're at it, the other SEO breaking news I broke last month, the search term field uses bytes, not characters. Don't count your spaces. Get that extra 20%, and make sure you do SEO. I am the SEO leader in the Amazon space. You should believe me over any other SEO source anywhere on the internet. I've proven it time and time again how to do it. We have multiple phases of SEO on the website. I'm very passionate about it. Go watch all of our SEO content. You'll see what I'm saying. Nico says, I can second the IP accelerator comment. They're just not sophisticated in Amazon and brand registry. You'll just have to babysit. Just use MAG. Give yourself peace of mind. That's our new marketing mantra, is the peace of mind. And it's funny that Nico typoed it, peace of mind versus peace of mind. And I think it's both. It's both, right? Like we'll give you a piece of your own mind, right? So I love that. Cool. All right. I think I'm almost caught up on member questions. We're going to pepper in some future member questions if I can. Jason says, awesome, Steven, longtime listener. I have 2 questions. First, one is related to the product inserts and asking for reviews. Don't recommend it. Don't even use the word reviews. I don't incentivize reviews, nor do I say if you like my product wording. I simply ask for a review straight up. I wouldn't do it right now. FBA could, at any point in time, ask you to remove your stock. Here's what I recommend you do instead. Ask for them to take a picture of your product, post it on Instagram with a hashtag your brand name. Go for engagements, not for reviews. If I change my product insert to ask for customer engagement, hashtag the picture, can I incentivize that? Yes, but they could change that at any point in time. I think this tactic that I'm talking about will be safe for the next year, but just be cautious, you know. I think it's safe for now. If you give them a $20 gift card to post a picture of your product on Instagram, I honestly would do that. All right. So my US primary competitor has an active patent. I've done my due diligence. I believe my product is not infringed. I'm talking with an IP lawyer who can deliver an informal opinion for $1,200. For $2,000, they'll produce a formal letter for me on the firm letterhead. Is there any advantage to having this letter? I think zip, honestly, because you have to prove you have a patent, and you're worried that somebody else's patent could potentially be infringed. So this one's tricky. I'm not a lawyer. I hate to give legal advice, especially as it relates to patents. I'm gonna step out on this one. I don't know if it's going to help you, but it probably couldn't hurt. The question is it worth $2,000? And that I can't answer. I don't know. How do you add alt text into A+ content? Well, why don't I show you? So I love doing live demonstrations. So I'm going to go into Seller Central in A+ content. So this is my actual Seller Central backend. And in here, we're going to go into an A+ content. If Amazon will load it, that is. So let's see. Come on, show me my A+ content. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go into the top hit right here. I'm going to hit edit. And I'm going to go into one photo. So we're just going to look at one photo here. Here's a soap photo. I'm going to hit edit. And you got 82 characters in here. Needs to be a full 100. So my team let me down on this one. Let's fill it out. Cedar tea tree soap. And way more characters could be filled in here. So I'm going to take a nice picture because my team did not fill in the full 100 characters here. Boom, caught it live on the audience. Embarrassing. So we'll send this over. Anyway, so what you would do is you'd fill in 100 characters in here, hand wash, artisan, fill it out, add in all those keywords here. And what you want to try and do. Oh, okay. This one's not live. Okay. I didn't catch my team. This is a design template with some lorem ipsum. So this is not in use. All right. So glad to find that my team didn't get caught. But what you would do is you just hit edit on any photo here and you fill out all of the keywords like that. So that's how you add alt text to an A+ concept. Nikki, thank you so much for the sticker donation. I appreciate it. You've sent a question. Let's see if we can track it down. There are 200 questions in queue. So I'm scrolling through trying to find yours, Nikki. I'm not finding it. Go ahead and repost it on the bottom here, Nikki, and I will jump to it next. Thank you for the donation. All right. When asking for a quote, so you said it's in the beginning. Go ahead and repost it for me. Help me out. When asking for a quote, can I give the freight forwarder the carton measurements in centimeters? 100%. Yes, you can. Not a problem at all. The search terms of product targeting and category targeting of a sponsored product campaign show only ASINs, but for sponsored brand campaigns, we found keywords in search terms of ASIN category targeting. Logic. Let's go to the next question. Thank you, Stephen. I will follow up with you via email regarding this category concern. I'm wondering if I register for category A, but I have a product in category B, will it still get product A+ content? Yes, it will. Not 100% guaranteed, but honestly, I've only seen it maybe 1 out of 500 times not work. And that's because the trademark name was 3 letters long. So as long as your trademark is unique and there's not a competitor with the same brand name, shouldn't be a problem. I think, Nikki, I found your question here. Let's go to those next. Thanks again for the donation. We are manufactured of innovative fishing products, and most of our products have trademarks names. Some do not, but still have our trademark company name on them. We unfortunately had someone else start our Amazon account. They did not register for any trademarks at the beginning. It's taken me 6+ months to get everything registered as our brand, but we're still having issues with Amazon. This is the great case example of why a manufacturer needs to take ownership of their own Amazon listings, hire the experts to take care of it, and make sure that you control your own destiny. If you don't show up on Amazon with your own product, somebody eventually will. And this is the lesson that Nikki and their company has learned. It's painful. 6 months, still having problems. If they had just listed their items on Amazon to begin with themselves and controlled their own destiny, they would be way better off. So Nikki, in terms of helping you out with the situation, make sure every product has a UPC loaded. Make sure you've brand registered every single brand and file tickets left and right until the issue abates. But I promise you, it's going to be a long ride. Very, very long ride. All right, so I have cleared the member queue, and I'm going to look for some future member questions. I am exhausted. I'm overcoming a mild cold right now. So I'm going to just take some of these at random. Hey, love your content. I'm stuck here. 2 brands, one of which has our same name. The other brand was hijacked our storefront. Any help here? Anisha, you have a brand node ID issue, and you need to file tickets to make sure they set the brand node ID. Can we change our address after verification? Yes, you can. Never had a problem with that. Can I have my product enhanced and it's ready to ship? I want better transparency. Don't want to have a mix-up with old inventory. Can I create duplicated of the ASIN with a new FBA SKU? Same condition. Yes, not a problem. Multiple SKUs in the same ASIN are never a problem. Going through the list of future member questions here. PPC clicks versus sessions discrepancy. How can you understand your real organic conversion rate if PPC clicks don't match sessions? This is a question we get once every 2 weeks. We don't have a solution for this. You can only take the business report with a grain of salt. Look at your conversion rate versus the category and judge it accordingly. Really want your thought through. Waited for you throughout the week. Please answer my question, which I asked above. We're getting around to as many of these as we can. But Abdallah, if you want your question answered for sure, become a member of the channel, sir. Just watched your interview on the podcast, heard about best practices for PPC, was not sure what segmenting means. So this means taking as much of your campaign structure and breaking it down to the micro level as possible. So having one campaign for exact match, one campaign for broad match, having a campaign for bid modifiers up and down, having campaigns set up for all of these different segmentation types. Can you explain how you would set up a $1 ad budget and 5 cents click strategy? Do a template upload with 2,000 SKUs, put in the SKU number, the bid, and an auto campaign, and then a different ad group for all 2,000. It's a magic trick to get lots of sales for very dirt cheap. The best do's and don'ts when opening second seller account. Do not use the same email address from your admin on any other account ever, ever, ever. It's okay to have 2 accounts with a third email address that's on both. That's fine, but not the admin email. Use different banking account information. Use a different tax ID. You're going to have a different EIN number with the federal government. All of those must be unique. But in terms of IP address, all of those things, not important. Don't worry about those, Daniel. If you become a client of My Amazon Guy, we'll get you an invite for that second account and bypass all multiple account problems. My campaign run out of budget. Sometimes when I look on mobile versus desktop on keywords, I see my campaign still running on mobile, but not on desktop when it's out of budget already during the day. This is normal. You need to increase your budget and lower your bids. If you can't increase your budget, at least lower your bids so it shows up longer throughout the day. Let's see. Zachariah, what would be the best correct way to report someone selling the same design as yours on their own ASIN? Copyright infringement, pirated, copyright infringement, non-pirated. I would go copyright infringement for sure. I would file both until they get taken down. Somebody took one of my Mama Shark wine glass designs and then they just like changed one squiggle and thought they could get away with it. I got them reported. They got taken down. Amazon deactivated my account under Section 3, asking for invoices of 3 ASINs. These 3 ASINs were removed right after listing, not received any order. What do I do? Should I apologize to Amazon or should I arrange invoices? Please help me out. Abdallah, Section 3 is a very complicated one. So they think you have multiple accounts and you need to get the account reinstated by answering the questions they specifically ask on your suspension. I don't think invoice prep is going to help you. I think you need to convince them that you don't have a second account. What are the pros and cons versus telling people about the products you sell? Currently keeping it a secret when somebody asks me because accidentally review manipulation or more competition thoughts. I'm a transparent guy. I don't really care. I'll show you everything I do. I'll show you how I run my agency. I'll show you how I run my products. Why? Because I think I execute things better than anybody I know. I'm not afraid. Are my wine glasses doing worse this year than last year? Yes, by a long shot. 50% down. Could that be because everybody started copying my designs? Could be. So could competition come in and mess you up? 100%. I wouldn't worry about friends buying your products, though. I don't think you have any concerns there. Just don't incentivize them. You'll be fine. Facing a problem in sign-in companies housing UK showing invalid email and password. Client is doing easily. I don't know the answer to that one. Search term of a product targeting and category targeting the sponsored product campaign show ASIN for the sponsored brand campaigns. We found keywords in search term of ASIN category target logic. I think I'm faltering here. I'm reading this question and I actually don't know what you're asking for. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to crack out some easy ones and wrap up here today. If Amazon sends the wrong product out to a customer and that customer then leaves a negative review, can I get that review removed? Yes, you can file a product review removal for shipping, logistics. Just file that ticket 100 times. Eventually, it'll go through. Have you used Amazon Logistics for shipping directly from China? My company has for some of our clients. I think it's cheaper and more convenient. I wouldn't say it's better from a price or speed based on what I've seen. What are pink keywords? Pink keywords show up in the brand analytics dashboard of your backend of Seller Central. We talk about this during phase 2 of our SEO strategy. And these are words that are superfluous. They show up already on your listing. You don't need both these keywords in the backend of search terms as well as in your title and bullets. You can safely remove them from the back end of Amazon. Great question. Love talking about SEO and pink keywords. If Amazon sends the wrong product out to a customer, yes, we've already answered that. Is there a way to eliminate hijackers even without a full trademark? Nope. Got to have that trademark to get rid of hijackers. Really, really important. You can also order a product from them, and if they're trying to, like, for example, my Age of Sage smudge sticks, I had a bunch of hijackers, and I reported them because they're not shipping it out in my box, and Age of Sage is my product item, which is a big deal, right? Like they're infringing. It's not a good experience. And so you can absolutely get those people removed, but you do have to file lots and lots of tickets. So these smudge sticks right here, I launched these a couple months ago, had a lot of success, making thousands of dollars. Everybody wants to ride on it. And so you'll see occasionally a hijacker shows up, sold by brand number 2. I fight them tooth and nail. I report them every day until they get taken down. It comes in waves, though. And so when you're filing tickets against infringers, it takes a lot of effort to get them removed, unfortunately. We got a new member coming in from Carlos. Thanks for joining the channel. Really appreciate you joining us. We do prioritize member questions. My man, Steven, you've been spitting value at insane level. Thanks for everything you do. You're very welcome. So that is the show today. I couldn't get to at least 50 questions in queue. I'm so sorry. I'll do my best every week, but that is all I have in the energy today. If you like today's podcast, just do me a favor, hit that like button. We do live podcasts every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And Jason Master Mateo is coming up on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because I can't get to all the questions, we have a second showing coming up every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Jason Master Mateo. He's the guy with less hair than me. I got more hair than that guy. So if you like the show, join us next Tuesday at 11 a.m. or every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Come and ask questions. Join the channel, become a member, or donate and throw a sticker. We'd love to answer your questions. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. I hope you consider using My Amazon Guy to help grow your sales on Amazon or give you peace of mind that everything is managed holistically from SEO, PPC, design, and catalog. You guys have a great